Guys, today I want to walk y'all through a project that we started a few weeks ago. It's a renovation project here in St. Joe Beach, Florida. We got a call from some homeowners that wanted us to come out and take a look to help figure out what was going on with their floors buckling. So when we got the guys out, immediately we tore the vinyl siding underneath the house down, and we realized that the bat insulation was stapled to the bottom side of the floor trusses, which created an air cavity between the bat insulation and the subfloor. When we pulled off the bat insulation, the whole subfloor of the house was just straight black mold. We noticed that it was worse underneath the living room, kitchen, hallway area, which is also where the floors were buckling. Then we came inside the house and we started pulling up the LVP. It was a gray mold that you would kind of see like on bread. It was worse in the areas that were close to the main return in the house. Through investigation, we realized that the house, when it goes into negative pressure, the AC is pulling in air from the underneath the house. Here in Florida, in the summer especially, we have hot, humid, wet air. And that hot, humid air gets trapped underneath these piling houses. And when the house goes into a negative pressure from turning on a hood vent, drying clothes, or turning on a bathroom fan, the air has got to get replaced in the house somehow. And the air is always going to come back in through the path of least resistance. And apparently on this house, the path of least resistance is through a leaky, unsealed subfloor. And that is a perfect place for mold to grow because there is an air gap between the subfloor and the insulation, and that air cannot get dried out. And so that hot, humid air gets trapped on the bottom side of that subfloor, and it meets a cool condensing surface because the AC is inside the house cooling that subfloor to about a 70-something degrees. And that is a perfect recipe for mold to grow. That is why in the houses that I build, it is important to get a vapor barrier on the bottom side of that subfloor. We utilize closed cell spray foam by doing that. Closed cell spray foam is what you would see inside like a Yeti cooler. It's essentially waterproof. You could spray a ball of closed cell spray foam, put it under the water for hours, bring it back up, and it would have no water inside of it. That's completely the opposite of open cell spray foam. Open cell spray foam is a lot more spongier, and it can hold moisture. So anytime you're putting insulation on the outside of the house, it is important that you put something that is hydrophobic or that can create an air barrier and keep moisture from coming through it. And it's always a better idea to get that insulation up against the subfloor. It's just sad to see a house that was only built 6 years ago have this much moisture mildew problems from just bad building practices. And this is why I utilize good building science to keep my clients from ever having to experience this. You know, the lady that lives here, she has for years been having respiratory issues. She's been going to the doctor, trying to figure out what is causing her issues. I'm no doctor, but I would think living in a house that has black mold growing underneath it and has mold all underneath your flooring would probably be a huge contributing factor of why she had respiratory issues. I'm not hating on any builders or anything. It's just, I just think we could build better. Code does not keep this from happening. This is all because of bad building practices and builders just building how everyone else builds. We can do different, and there's better ways to build. I urge you to make sure that you don't build a house that just meets code, because code will get you this right here.